We're going all the way to Texas today, and William Lorenz is joining me from WL Contracting. William, thanks for joining me.
Andrew, nice to chat with you today. I appreciate your time.
Well, William, let's get into it. WL Contracting, what do you do?
WL Contracting is a heavy civil construction company based out of San Antonio, Texas. We specialize in mass earth moving of 1 million cubic yards plus. We have a fleet of scraper pans that we drag behind, and we've had great success in this region moving mass dirt on big jobs, and we've proven ourselves here in the last 5 to 7 years.
Well, William, you've been an AGTEK user for some time. What was your pathway to AGTEK and why are you using it?
So I was first introduced to AGTEK back in 2011 when I previously worked for another employer. And when I worked for that guy, he had a lot of GPS technology, but he didn't have any know-how to use it. So through reaching out in the professional network I was part of, I got into contact with a gentleman that was a model builder, and it was able to introduce me how to, further use AGTEK to be able to do the takeoff side of things in the very beginning of the project, as well as see cut fill maps before we started the project that are very useful, as well as editing the model, building the model. So we went from outsourcing AGTEK to another third-party model builder and using it primarily just for model building. And currently I have a takeoff guy that works in-house for us. That's fantastic. He's used AGTEK the last 30 years. We also have an estimator that's, both of them have over 30 years of experience using AGTEK. And I don't know how we could function in our day-to-day takeoff world as well as model building world for all the job sites we have without AGTEK. It's streamlined. It's so fast, so user-friendly compared to other applications that we've tried to use. And I don't know how we could go any other direction.
Now, at WL Contracting, you are using the SmartTrack app, and we want to take a little bit of a look at how you're using that. But firstly, how did you get started with the app, with the SmartTrack app?
Andrew, that's a great question. I was very hesitant at first. I was actually in Livermore at y'all's facility, at AGTEK's facility, getting some training there. And the gentleman that were there was asking about my business and what we do, and said that the SmartTrack app would be great for what we do, tracking loads on scrapers. So now I was very hesitant at first, and we don't really need it. We can count loads. We have clickers like they've done since the 70s, no problem. We landed two really large mass earth moving jobs over 1 million yards each, and I made the investment into it, thinking, you know what, let's give it a try and see how far off we truly are based versus SmartTrack versus a traditional clicker. Well, we found that the data was very deceiving from what our guys were clicking, because the guy that stopped for a minute had the same amount of loads as somebody else, when SmartTrack actually had evidence that this guy ran faster, this guy had more production, this guy stopped longer. There was undeniable data. And we really liked that mobility that my foreman could see during lunch. He could pull it up on his phone and see exactly how many loads each tractor had hauled by lunch. So he could compare, hey man, you're 5 loads behind on this 6-hour run in the morning. Why? What's wrong? Equipment breakdowns, or is it something the haul road need to be kept up a little bit more? So we're able to really pinpoint which one of our production was falling behind, and it's really worked out great for us, especially on long hauls. We could guess exactly how many feet we had in the haul based off of a pickup truck running the mileage, but with the SmartTrack app, you're able to tell exact footage on that haul. So we're really able to delineate a 2,000 foot haul between a 2,500 foot haul, between a 3,000 foot haul. So that's helped us in our tracking of what our production truly is every day.
Of course, you've got staff members on site working with the SmartTrack app. What do they say about the app?
Our foremen in the field use the SmartTrack app every day on job sites that have long haul distances where we're running scrapers. They found that they can use historical data that the app stores, so they can go back daily and see exactly what they did. It's very user friendly to be able to track rounds, track quantities, adjust quantities based off of drone surveys. So they found that the app is very user friendly for the data that they're trying to retrieve out of the app on a daily basis.
Well, your team are getting a lot of benefit from using the SmartTrack solution on site. What are some of the unintended consequences of working with SmartTrack that's impacting other areas of your business?
Andrew, one of the best benefits we've seen from using SmartTrack as a business is we're able to be more competitive on bids by having historical data of what we can actually move on job sites based off of different haul distances. So Previously in the past, we had just our rudimentary ways of estimating that we said we were going to move X number of cubic yards, when in reality, we have data that proves we could move more with the same equipment, allowing us to be more competitive with the equipment that we own and be able to be more competitive in the market that we're in.
We said earlier that you were a little bit reluctant to adopt the SmartTrack solution, but some large projects led you into it. How hard was it for you to implement the solution into your work practices and into the business?
Andrew, it took us not very long at all. We had some great training. That's one thing that's very good about AGTEK. They have some very good customer support and very good training. Uh, and with that training, I would say within a week, we were up and rolling, very educatedly on how to use the SmartTrack app, as well as the data that we could retrieve out of it. In training, all of our foremen to be able to use it as well was very simplistic. That's the best thing about AGTEK over all the years is it's very easy to implement because they don't make anything any harder than it has to be. There's a lot of technologies out there that make things harder than they need to be, and AGTEK has always been very user friendly, and they kept the user friendliness of AGTEK as far as grade work and all the things they have. They integrated that as well as SmartTrack. So we're very appreciative that they've made it easy for field level guys to be able to use very accurately.
Well, William from WL Contracting, it's been great to have a chat with you and find out how you're working with the SmartTrack app in your business and the benefit that you're gaining from it, all the way from Texas. I'm in Australia. Thanks for joining me.
Andrew, thank you for having us. We look forward to continuing the great relationship with AGTEK. Thank you very much.